There's a big elephant in the room today, and that is betrayal. One of the causes of hurt in families is betrayal. And today, I am going to be talking about betrayal. Welcome to Emotional Healing for Family series. I am Tayo Owosina. Now, what does betrayal mean? Have you ever been betrayed? What does it feel like to be betrayed? Let's get started. Betrayal is when a person's expectation of another person is being violated in the context of relationship. So, for example, a parent to child, the relationship can be in any form. Parent to child, it can be from sibling to sibling, it can be from child to another person outside of the family settings. But in this video, my attention is going to be on teenagers now and in the family settings. So, say for example, between the parent and the teenager. So when the expectation of the parent is being violated, there's total disrespect, disregard, for that expectation of the parent from the child, and the parent can feel betrayed. In the same way, the teenager can feel betrayed, especially when expectation from the parent, the child's expectation from the parent is being violated. Betrayal, that sense of betrayal can set in. Now, like I said, it can happen between siblings. It can happen between the child and the parent and the child. It can happen between the child and another body, not necessarily human being, but between the child and the church, the child and the mosque, the child and the school. It can happen in many ways. And of course, also it can happen with the child and the adults outside of the family. It can happen between families, family and family, having that sense of betrayal occurring. Now, however this has come, it can be in different forms. Lying out. When a child is being lied at and the child is unable to vindicate himself, a sense of betrayal can set in. Disloyalty. It can result into some sort of betrayal, and a major one is revealing of secrets. Now, when teenagers are concerned, as far as teenagers are concerned, secrets are big deals, or they are gists. When they come around and they tell you their gist and they begin to hear their gist, from another person, it loses trust. They lose trust in you, and you just lose it with them, or they lose it with you. So, for example, a teenager tells the mom something in confidence, and before he knew what was happening, an aunt came around, and the aunt just called and said, "So I heard this happened." Before you know what's happening, that child will begin to feel a disconnect, a sense of betrayal comes in, and the child may not confide in trust, may not tell the parents some things again. And in the same way, it could be between the child and an adult. That's not the parent. Between the child and anyone, really. So secrets or gists are really very important. It's very sacred to them, and they really want it to be kept in confidence. So when that trust is breached, by letting it out, then they feel that sense of betrayal. Now, as simple as these things may appear, in the context of family, we've seen it a lot, resulting to things that become what they nurse. They nurse hurt, they nurse hate, they nurse being revengeful, they nurse grudges and all that. So, what are the effects of betrayal in families when this happen? When there's betrayal and it's not being addressed, it can result into disengagement. Such a child can feel disengaged from the family as a whole. The child will begin to feel more comfortable with himself. He wants to spend more time with himself than spend time with family members, especially a child that usually would play with everybody, that's a fun-loving person, but now just wanting to be by self. So that betrayal can lead to that. Also, lack of fun loving and laughing is not having fun, is not playing, is not just together with family members. It can result into that. Also, betrayal can result into mental illness. A child that is disengaged, no connection anymore, spending time by himself, loneliness can set in. From being alone, loneliness can set in. From loneliness, he begins to overthink things. His sense of self can be distorted. And once that happens, it can lead to depression if care is not taken. So, when these have been observed, when these things, you've noticed that these things are playing out as a result of an obvious case of betrayal, whether sibling to sibling, parent to sibling, parent to child, child to parent, we should not leave it. Do not leave it unattended to. So 3 things you can begin to do. Number 1, you want to recognize, admit that there is a problem. Usually it leads to a problem of lack of intimacy or loss of intimacy, lack or loss of trust. So admit that there's a problem here. If that admittance is not there, it's hard to really be able to retrace the step or to be able to want to try and fix things. So it's important that you admit that there's a problem here. Number 2, reintroduce family rituals. Either you initiate or you reintroduce. Now, because of what had happened, an existing family ritual might have been taken off, might have been withdrawn as a withdrawal of pleasure, just to met discipline or pass a message across in the instance of the occasion of what led to the betrayal or the event that happened. Now, after the message had been passed, say for example, movie night, Friday movie night, family movie night, or a game time or a play time or a hangout, something that usually happens, that's a family ritual, right? If that had been taken away because of what happened, then it's okay. After the message had been passed, the discipline had been met, and the message had been passed, it's okay to reintroduce that family ritual. And where family ritual is not existing before the betrayal, now because we want to rebuild trust, we want to rebuild intimacy, or we want to build intimacy, and we want to build trust, then we can introduce family rituals, game time, movie time, hang out, eat out, activity together, just to foster bond in the family. And finally, you want to apologize. Now, I can't say this enough. Adults find it hard to apologize to young people. Well, sometimes not because they don't want to, but because they don't know how to. And you don't want to continue that cycle. If you don't apologize when you need to, you're telling your child not to be a person that apologizes, especially when there's need to apologize. We grew up, adults today, we grew up, around us, many adults that can't apologize. Growing up where nobody apologizes to anybody. So we learned not to apologize. Let's break that cycle. Apologize to your child when you need to, especially your adolescent. You're teaching your child to be someone that apologizes when there is need to, okay? And also, if it's between siblings, let's create that environment where it can be addressed. Let that situation, let that event, circumstance be addressed. Let it be addressed. It's important it's addressed. If it's between child and parents, the adolescent and the parent, have that conversation with your teenager. It's important. And then apologize when you need to. Get your child to apologize if he needs to, or when he needs to, or as he needs to. Remember, when you begin your conscious journey of healing, you allow your child to begin his conscious journey of healing as well. Thank you for listening to me. I'll see you again in my next video. Remember to subscribe to this channel, share with families and friends, and I'll see you again. Thank you. Bye for now.